What's going on, Broncos country? Welcome on into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. Coming up on today's episode, we're going to run through some really important injury news going into Sunday's matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then we'll run through my keys to victory for Bo Nix and Sean Payton. Now, I just want to start the video off by saying thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel, helped us reach 25,000 subscribers. I mean, don't get me wrong, it never gets lost on me how awesome it is to see this channel grow. I take it for granted sometimes, but 25,000 subscribers is an incredible milestone. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and make sure to come hang out with us this Sunday for our Week 2 watch party against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, let's get into our preview for Week 2, beginning with some injury news because the Broncos and Steelers opened up their week of practice today on Wednesday, and unfortunately for Denver, it included a player going to injured reserve. Rookie running back Audric Estime is on IR with an ankle injury, so he is out the next 4 weeks minimum. Fullback Michael Burton was promoted from the practice squad to the active 53-man roster. Meanwhile, you've got two wide receivers, Josh Reynolds and Devon Vele, who both did not practice to start the week. Not ideal. Sean Payton, more of an old-style coach. If you can't practice, you can't play is usually the mantra. So hopefully we can get Reynolds and Vele back on the field soon. Otherwise, Bo Nix is down his top two out of his top three receivers. Garrett Bowles with a calf injury did not practice. Luke Wattenberg with an ankle injury did not practice. Not good when we're talking about a ferocious Steelers front five. So being down potentially 1 to 2 starting offensive linemen, not encouraging, but still early on in the week of practice. So hopefully some of these guys can return on Thursday or Friday. Meanwhile, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, all eyes are on Russell Wilson. He is limited with a calf injury. The background with Russ is the day before training camp started in July, he had a calf injury pop up, which somewhat limited him earlier on in training camp. He ended up playing in some preseason games, so I think people thought they were out of the woods. Well, then on Thursday of week 1, that calf injury reemerges and it knocks him out for the Falcons game on Sunday. Now, he is limited to start this week. Mike Tomlin will not say definitively one way or the other, but they are preparing as if Justin Fields will start. And Sean Payton today said to the Denver media they are preparing as if Justin Fields will start, which is a bummer because this is supposed to be a fun, drama-filled matchup between Russell Wilson and Sean Payton, and Denver divorcing him after just 2 seasons and taking on that $85 million dead cap hit. And now we are robbed of what was going to be a really fun, drama-filled game. But let's move on to the second part of our Week 2 preview. In order to go forward, we got to go backwards first, right? I think it's important to not just completely disregard the Week 1 matchup for both teams and take a good hard look in the mirror and learn from it. For the Broncos, it really boils down to this, I think. Stop having Bo Nix throw the ball 42 times. Like, that is not a winning recipe for your rookie quarterback. You got to get him some help on the ground. Meanwhile, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, they found a way to just kind of eke out a very narrow victory. But going back to the Broncos matchup with the Seahawks, some like overarching takeaways I had after rewatching the game. Takeaway number 1 for their Week 1 loss in the Pacific Northwest, too much on Bo Nix's plate. Like I said, 42 passes, just an insanely high number for a rookie quarterback in their NFL debut. They have got to bring that number down. Now, of course, you can't just run the football just for the sake of running the football. You got to be effective at it as well. So Javonte Williams, Jaleel McLaughlin, and that offensive line, they have to execute better. Second takeaway, the ground game sucked. Like, this kind of gets married into the first one, right? Sure, it's easy to just to say, hey, Bo Nix is going to throw the ball 25 times, and then we're going to cap it off there. But if you're running the ball for less than 3 yards a pop, which Javonte Williams and McLaughlin running it for less than 3 yards a carry, you're just not going anywhere with the ball. So these two go hand in hand together, but they must be improved. And then finally, the defense was up and down. I mean, there are moments where you can look at and go, wow, Denver's defense played awesome. 2 safeties, Jonathan Cooper sack on the first play, Alex Singleton interception up next. Like, there are a lot of really good highlights from that game defensively. But then the second half. I mean, the Seahawks open up the second half on a 17-0 run. You gave up some long touchdowns, like explosive plays. You made Geno Smith look fast. Like those are things you look back at and go, that is not what the Broncos' defensive identity is. So a lot of good, but definitely some bad that needs to get fixed. Now, what's your confidence level for Bo Nix going into week 2? Are you chalking up week 1 to, hey, NFL debut? There are a lot of great quarterbacks that didn't have great first games like John Elway, Peyton Manning. This one's going to get behind us and we're on to the next game. Or are you in the camp of, that is just week number 1, but maybe there's some truth to the way Bo Nix played? Let me know in the comment section either way. Scale it 1 to 10. Now let's talk about the Steelers' Week 1 win over the Falcons and what you need to know coming out of that game. First off, TJ Watt dominated. He had a sack, he had a fumble recovery, and he could have had a whole lot more if a few penalties did not wipe away a few good plays from him. So the Broncos have to come in with a better game plan for Watt than the Falcons did. And I've got a game plan for Watt, and we'll share that in just a few minutes here. Next up here, the offense for Pittsburgh simply got by. They put up 18 points, but 6 field goals, and 3 of those 6 came from beyond 50 yards. That's just not something your offense can sustain, or more importantly, your kicker can't sustain. I don't think you can ask your kicker to go 3 for 3 from beyond 50 every single week and expect to win that way. So overall, I was not very impressed by Pittsburgh's offense, and that kind of leads me into this. It was an all-time kicker performance. Like, game ball goes to Chris Boswell. He single-handedly won that game for them offensively, and Watt won the game for the Steelers defensively. So for the Broncos, I wouldn't say it's very difficult of a game plan to cook up. Like, make sure that Chris Boswell doesn't go 3 for 3 from beyond 50 again, and TJ Watt does not single-handedly wreck your offense. Now, I've got 3 keys to victory for the Broncos to destroy the Steelers in just a moment. But first, a quick shout-out to our sponsor today, which is Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets today with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account and redeem code CHAT Sports for $20 off your first purchase. Now, I love you guys, so I put all that information in the comments and description of today's video, just in case you forgot. But download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. First key to victory for the Broncos. Picking up just where we left off, you got a game plan for TJ Watt. And the game plan simply can't be, hey, we're going to go mano-a-mano against him, and we're just going to be better. That's not going to cut it. Like TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, those guys are in their own tier of opposing offensive coordinator and offensive line coach lose sleep the week leading up to the game because it requires a special, unique game plan for that player. So for me, when it comes down to stopping or slowing down TJ Watt, one thing that just comes to mind is, what does TJ want the Broncos offense to do? He wants Bo Nix to drop back 42 times and pass the football. So don't give him what he wants. Don't just ask Bo Nix to drop back 42 times, right? Get some play action going. Use the RPO, right? Make TJ Watt make a decision. Do I want to go after the running back? Do I want to go after the quarterback? We saw in the preseason how great and mobile Bo Nix is. Use his legs. Force Watt to make a decision, or maybe even just force Watt to slow down. So he can't just barrel at the quarterback because he has to wait and see, does he hand it off to the running back? So don't just be stagnant. Don't just ask Nix to drop back 42 times and hope for the best. Like, you've got to get the ball moving. You got to get the quarterback moving. Move the pocket away from TJ Watt. What I don't want to hear is a simple, let's chip TJ Watt. Not going to work enough. Like, there are a lot of teams that thought of that beforehand, and he still put up monster numbers. Look at the TJ Watt effect. The Steelers' record in TJ Watt's career when he gets 1.5 sacks or more, 23-3-1. When TJ Watt does not record a sack, still an impressive record, but a lot easier of an opponent. 22-14. So for me, just sticking Mike McGlinchey and asking Adam Trotman to put a left-handed jab into him before he runs out for his route is just simply not good enough. I want to see RPO. I want to see play action. I want to see bootlegs away from Watt. Make Watt frustrated. Pass rushers make their money via sacks. They can't sack a quarterback if he's constantly moving. That is a much difficult target to shoot. You know what's easy? A statue in the pocket. So don't give him that. All right, second key to victory now. A much more balanced offense. The Broncos offense in week 2 was pass heavy and very ineffective on the ground. And honestly, ineffective through the air. Like Bo Nix, we saw what we saw a lot of in Oregon, which was a lot of short passes near the line of scrimmage. His yards per attempt was under 4. Sure, maybe every once in a while you can get a nice yards after catch, and hey, that can be factored in as well. Like, let's get the receivers doing a good job once the ball is in their hands. But defenses are going to pick up on that throughout the game, and especially throughout the season. And they're just going to start crowding the box. Everyone's going to start taking a few steps forward. And that's going to do a couple of things. One, it's going to make running the ball miserable. I mean, poor Javonte Williams, he'll get the ball with 8 defenders in the box. He's not going very far with that. Maybe he gets 5 yards, and that's going to feel like a win, but we need bigger explosive plays than just 5 yards as a long for Williams in the day. So you got to have a much more balanced offense, right? You got to get the run game going, but you also have to find a way to make sure the Steelers' defense respects Bo Nix's arm and doesn't just start crowding the box. So the balance also comes in with a plethora of pass concepts and route running where it's not just short and intermediate, where everyone just starts crowding the line of scrimmage. Third key to victory, stuff the run. The Pittsburgh Steelers want to run the football. That is no secret. They are not trying to hide it. Look at the stats week 1. Najee Harris, 20 carries. Justin Fields, 14 carries. Cordero Patterson, 4 carries. Jaylen Warren, their backup running back, still kind of working his way back from a hamstring, but as he gets healthier, he'll get more touches. So just look at the volume Pittsburgh had on the ground. 41 rushes in total for the team, 137 yards. Over half of their first downs came via the run. You want to get the Steelers off the field? Stop the run. Justin Fields was only looking at short passes near the sideline, nothing over the middle all Sunday long against Atlanta. So even when the Falcons made him one-dimensional, they still beat them because the Falcons just really couldn't stop the Steelers at what they wanted to do, which was running the football. So it's up to these 5 guys to make sure that doesn't happen. DJ Jones, I thought, had a pretty good first half against the Seahawks. We need more of that, right? Zach Allen played an absurd amount of snaps. He's a great pass rusher, but everyone's going to have to bring their lunchbox and a hard hat for Sunday to stop the run, especially DJ Jones, who last year had a little bit of a down season, to put it lightly, but this year he needs to be the man in the middle. He needs to be more than just some 300-pound boulder, right? He's got to eat up a rookie center in Zach Frazier, an injured offensive line missing their starting left guard. Like, they've got to take advantage of those matchups and eliminate or just slow down the Steelers' ground game. And if Justin Fields drops 300 yards through the air, hand up, I'll admit I was wrong, and that's why the Broncos lost. But I would rather get proven wrong than just let the Steelers win at what they want to do, which is, say with me, running the football. So who you got this upcoming Sunday? Broncos or Steelers? Let me know in the comment section right now. Give me a B for the Broncos. Now, before we get on out of here, you know I got to show some love to the Blue and Orange Club. Slap yourself. I don't give a buck. I don't give a duck. And John E., all for sending in a $100 super chat. If you want to get added to the club, hang out with us Sunday during our watch party. If you send in a $100 super chat, we'll add you to the club to get shout-outs all 2024 season long. That will do it for us on today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a like, a comment. Let me know what you thought of the episode in the comment section, and I'll see you all tomorrow.